And good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, y'all. It is awesome to be before you yet again with our daily live segment, Questions That Need Answers. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tremaine Wells. I am a financial planner and investment advisor. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where we are on a mission to help 1 million households grow their invested assets to $1 million or more. We do that through comprehensive financial planning, providing investment advice, and teaching and promoting financial literacy through segments like this. We have a community called the 1 Trillion Tribe where we are just excited about folks getting their finances in order. Good morning, good morning. So, if you'd like to follow the movement, see how we're continuing to help and serve families with their finances, you can follow at 1 Trillion Tribe everywhere, and see how we're doing. Right now, we have helped 76 households start and continue their journey. So we're super excited about that. If you'd like to make sure that you are notified every time I go live so that you can be here live with me and ask questions, make sure that you are following on whatever platform that you're watching, and then turn those notifications on. All right. So that you don't have to remember, oh my goodness, it's 8 a.m. Right. So, all right, so let's dive in. This is Questions That Need Answers. Today, we are answering the question, what is a money script? All right. Has anybody heard of that before? Have you heard of the term money script? Let me know. Oh, I almost forgot. How y'all let me forget? Let me know where we're tuning in from, right? Wherever you are in the world. Our company is based in the United States, in Virginia, and we serve clients across the US. But I always like to see where folks are tuning in from. So if you are watching and it's your first time tuning in, let me know where you're from so that we can see how far and wide this message reach, right? We love the power of the internet, right? Because it allows us to reach folks who are not typically in our immediate vicinity. So, super, super excited to see where folks are tuning in from. Okay, RVA, I think that's Richmond. Welcome, welcome, right? Our friends up the highway. Awesome to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Excellent. All right. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to share in the comments. I always go back later to see what folks are saying. And it's usually pretty good. Somebody typically says, like, oh, I didn't know what that was, right? So that lets me know we're doing a good job with teaching and promoting. All right. So, what is a money script? A money script is a way that you think about your finances, right? And so it identifies the thoughts, behaviors, attitudes you have towards money and your interactions with money. And for many of us, it's rooted in something from our childhood. So we may have watched particular behaviors and adopted those behaviors. And that's now become how we interact with money. And so it's important that you know your money script so that it makes it easier for you to build wealth and for you to understand why you have some of the behaviors you have around your finances. Okay, so we're going to dive into what the 4 money scripts are. And as you're hearing these, right, let me know in the comments if you hear anything that makes sense to you, that you're like, oh, wow, maybe I never thought of that. And that might be what my money script is, right? For most people, you typically fall into one of the 4 buckets, but you may show characteristics of more than one. All right, so the first one is money avoidance. This is super common. So, money avoidance is when subconsciously we have this negative perception about building wealth. And what it does is we think that wealth accumulation for some reason is a negative thing. And so we'll tend to self sabotage anytime we're on a journey to building wealth. And so you might find that if you have this particular money script, you struggle with saving money, you struggle with going after higher income, right? You might struggle with, just building relationships with folks who are wealthy, because something in your mind is telling you that, wow, they must have done something wrong or illegal or have poor character in order to have amassed such wealth. And so when you have money avoidance, it's hard for you to retain and build wealth. So if you've never kind of just sat down and thought about, well, what is the reason that I'm having a challenging time growing my savings account past a certain number? Or what is the reason why I'm struggling with investing and sticking to my plan, even though I have the resources to do it, right? It could be because your money script is money avoidance. And you inherently don't believe that having and building wealth is something that you should do. All right. So that's the first one, money avoidance. The second one is money worship. So this is where part of you believes that money is the answer to everything. Right. And so sometimes we'll approach this with the idea that, well, if I only had $100,000, or if I only had, a six-figure salary, and you connect your happiness to this idea that you must have more money in order to feel joy, that's when it becomes a problem, right? Money is not the answer to everything. Now, while it does help solve a lot of problems, it's not the solution. And so, if you find yourself continuously thinking that things would get better only if you had X amount of dollars, your money script might be money worship. Good morning. All right. So that's the second one. The third one is money status. Now, money status is similar to money worship, but it takes it a step further, right? So, with money status, not only do you believe that money is the solution or the answer to all things, you also now connect your self-worth to your net worth. And this might show up in overspending, continually maxing out credit cards, must have the newest, nicest things, right? Not because you deserve nice things, but because of what other people will think of you because you have it. And so this one we see a lot, especially over social media, where folks will have just all these fantastic homes and cars, and oftentimes it is truly outside of their budget. Now, if there are some folks that absolutely have it, right? And if that is where you fall, amazing, right? But for some of us, we pretend that we're at a level of success and wealth because we want people to perceive us in a different light. We connect the status that we have, the things that we have, to our self-worth and our value. And so if you fall into this money script, what you might find happening is that while you may have many material things, you don't have much money in savings. There's not much money in your investment accounts because you continuously buy and spend to appear to be wealthier than you are. All right. And then the fourth money script is money vigilance. And this is where, if it's not checked, right, it can become dangerous. In this particular money script, you might develop it if you did not come from wealth, right? If you grew up poor and now when you get into building wealth, you hang tight on money, right? So you might see that, hey, friend, you might see that you struggle with your account balances dropping below a particular dollar amount, or you only want to put money in savings and you don't want to risk losing any investments, right? And so, with this, while you're particularly watchful, it could be harmful to you that you won't take the risk you need to take with your finances to multiply it in the way that it could be multiplying to build your wealth at a more accelerated rate. All right. So, those four money scripts, the first one was money avoidance, right? That's the one where we believe that building wealth is wrong. People who are wealthy have poor character. And so subconsciously we're self-sabotaging ourselves. Then the next one was money worship. This is the one where you believe money is the answer to everything, right? Then we have money status, where you tie your self-worth to your net worth, and you don't feel good unless people believe that you are wealthy. And then the fourth one is money vigilance. And this is where we are hyper attentive to our finances and we tend to hold on and cling to whatever we have out of fear of not having. All right. So as you're thinking about these different money scripts, somebody said I got a little of all four, right? And that's for many of us, we can have aspects of ourselves that show up in different areas. And especially as you are shifting what you value. And for real, if you're in any kind of therapy, you might find yourself like going through this different kind of journey. But for many of us, there's one leading script that dictates how we deal with our finances. And when you know what type of script you're operating out of, you can address it so that you can move in it healthily, right? So, a little bit of all of them, or not being overly developed in one area, is not a bad thing, right? We just don't want to go to the extreme. And so when you think about navigating in like the safe zones, let's talk about how we can break this down. Right? So let's say I find myself being a little bit avoidant with money, right? And maybe the line for you is, okay, I'm not going to do anything out of character in order to build wealth, right? And so there's a healthy line there, right? And then maybe you have a little bit of money worship. And so for you, it's like, okay, I'm going to do what is required to get the finances that I need, but also I'm not going to let money be the ruling factor in the choices that I make. And then money status, yes, we should have nice things, right? But we don't want to let the things that we have become the defining factor of who we are. And then for money vigilance, absolutely, we want to save and make sure that we have money available for a rainy day, but we don't want to have our hand closed so much that we don't do we don't participate in good opportunities to grow our wealth. All right. So you might experience different scripts or different instances where you can see a little bit of each. We just don't want to go into the extreme of any of them. Okay, we got a couple comments here. I've dealt with a little of each category. I'm very strong, number 4, and I have been all my life, right? So, yeah. But now, like, can you see how understanding where you may fall or even what you may be feeling in this instance can help you decide, okay, how am I going to approach this? How am I going to go about making decisions related to how I need to manage my money? Right? It can be incredibly helpful, incredibly powerful when you have an understanding of why you do the things that you do with your money and addressing it in a healthy way. All right. So that was the 4 money scripts. If this was helpful to you and you can think of anybody else who needs this particular topic, feel free to share this stream with them. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we answer the next question that needs an answer. All right. Have a good day.